we have for you this morning. So we will see one victor move on towards the quarterfinals in the GG League Season 2. They will face the winner of a matchup that we have ready for you tomorrow, which is the Northern Lions versus Commanda. So we saw yesterday Europe beat Takeout Section 80. They'll be facing off against Goomba, who we saw take out House of Gamers. But check out the bans here. Respect ban, it seems, from Moscow 5 International. Taking out the Meeple. Don't want to deal with that. Taking out the Death Prophet. That's pretty standard in and of itself. We do have the Brewmaster and Viper, first two bans from BBC here. So interesting to ban the Viper out that early. Perhaps they're going for something like an Ember mid. Don't want to deal with that Viper strike slow. But hurrah is going to be picked up here from Moscow 5. First, we will see the Skywrath Mage. All that he offers is pretty darn obvious, and he is most often a first pick, first ban hero for good reason. And speaking of first pick, first ban, we do see the Tide come out for BBC. Moscow 5 did elect first pick here in this game, so the they do grab that up in the first game, and they also have Dire Side for now. I guess BBC did choose Radiant here, so interesting choice from Weehaw and the crew. Interesting to see the mid matchup with these two teams, two very skilled players in Screen and Weehaw. So I'm personally a Weehaw fanboy myself. I think he's a very good player. But BBC, a little late to the lobby, guys. They were gonna have a stand-in, and he's a pretty common stand-in for them, Massa carry, and he often stands in for them, but they were able to get their full squad ready and going. M5 also does have their full squad, so don't be fooled by the names. Their PGG and Bignum are perennial Moscow 5 international players. This is the international squad under the Moscow 5. And speaking of the devil, Tusk is going to be picked up here. I want to see a nice, clean fight. And we're going to see the Skywrath Mage Tusk roaming combo. Very, very strong early on. Ancient Seal into the Ice Shards and or the Snowball is a pretty potent combo there. Also, you can grab in your third member of your tri-lane, of course, into that Snowball. You can use it to dodge spells, so pretty darn good. Something I didn't speak about yet, the BBC picking up the Jakiro here. So a lot of front line push in that sense that you can drop the liquid fire, slow down the tower, melt it down. Of course, we all know how good that spell is. It is probably just as good as Dual Breath is bad. So very, very high utility hero in the Jakiro. Faceless Void ban comes out from M5 here. They're going to ban the Razor as well. BBC going to take away the Dire Lycan, which quite a few teams have been exposing as of late. LGD Siler comes to mind. Even EG, of course, were the ones probably to repopularize Lycan after the nerfs, quote-unquote nerfs, to Shapeshift. Slark is going to be the next ban as well from BBC. So they take away two pretty elusive frontline carries in the Lycan and the Slark. So perhaps they are looking to split the map up a bit and are worried about this pick-off potential. For obvious reason, you do worry about the Lycan, his ability to retreat to the jungle, his ability to scout with those wolves, be annoying, cancel blinks, of course, take Roshan. Void, a good hero, of course, always taken out by M5, so they're not looking for that Chronosphere Mystic Flare combo for themselves, and they don't want to give it away. Not sure that Void synergizes extremely well with the Tidehunter. Chronosphere and Ravage don't have immediately apparent synergy there, but however, they will remove what is just simply a good hero, and definitely a hero that, if he doesn't get killed within the Ancient Seal duration, can certainly get away in the offlane from this Tusk Skywrath combo. Interesting pickup here from BBC. They're going to pick up an early Disruptor here, so we'll see if they pair that with Jakiro, or if we actually end up with a core Jakiro here in either the mid or the safe lanes. You would expect the Tide to go into the offlane here, and we'll see. I doubt Weehaw will pick up that Jakiro. He's generally a higher skill cap player, And so we may see Hockey take that Jakiro into the mid lane. But regardless, Disruptor, for obvious reasons, not bad versus the Snowball. There is that couple second stun there after the Snowball here. So stun duration at level 4 is 1.25, but definitely not long enough for him not to be able to get a glimpse off. So Puck will be the next pickup here for Moscow 5. So that looks like a Necroman hero, or a screen hero, I should say, in the mid lane. And that should be a lot of utility. Synergizes definitely well with the Puck Snowball, if they're, or with the Tusk Snowball, if they're able to get a couple hero stun into that Waning Rift, Dream Coil, Illusory Orb, and already tons of magic damage output here for M5. They still have a pretty open draft available to them. Puck, obviously very versatile. Tusk can go into a core role. Skywrath, more often than not, will be seen in the 4 role, but can definitely be played as a core as well. And if they're using a Jakiro core here for BBC, you could definitely see either of the Skywrath or the Tusk become a core, but they will pick up a TA in the mid for Weehaw, so this should be a really good sight to see here for BBC fans. Not so sure that there's any immediate synergy with the lineup here. Of course, having the Jakiro themselves ensures them that this TA's refraction charges won't get melted too quickly, especially from that liquid fire, and perhaps they already had that foresight in their draft to pick up the Jakiro early on, so as to ensure their TA's survival, so to speak. Of course, as I mentioned, a lot of magical burst from M5. Refraction definitely able to mitigate quite a bit of that, as I mean, Arcane Bolt is spammable, but not as spammable as you would like to be. You would like a tick. You could see a hero like the Venomancer here, but I believe that this is even more telling to BBC's strategy here. They banned out the Viper early, something I certainly questioned, and so it looks like they were looking to pick up that TA early on, but M5 gonna respond quickly with "Some call me Sheen, the Imba Spirit, balance in all things," and they'll have the Flame Guard at the ready to burn down those refraction charges. So Ember Spirit should have a decent time in the mid lane. Psyblades, for obvious reasons, a very annoying spell against a melee hero. So Ember probably won't get as good farm as the TA, but definitely won't have let the TA have a wonderful time. Searing Chains also does tick damage as well, so that's able to burn through the refraction charges. So it should be a good matchup mid with Scream versus Weehaw here, and we'll see what the final pick is for BBC, if they have a safe lane Jakiro here or not. M5 will be revealing what they believe that Jakiro is with this ban here, and before that, BBC bans out the ET. So BBC banning out a pretty strong offlaner with the natural order. I think they're going to need a little more carry on the side of M5 than an Elder Titan. But the Morphling going to be banned out here from M5. So they will ban out a core, and they are expecting a support 0. And the Brood pickup is going to round out the lineup. That was not a random. There's 1 minute and 3 seconds left of reserve time for BBC here, guys. So this was a calm, cool, calculated pick here from the Balkan Bears Corleone, and this is going to be interesting to watch in game with that Brood Mother being picked up, I would guess, by the hands of Padrino in the 1 position. It only makes sense. That's crazy. Safe lane Brood Mother, perhaps they're looking to go aggressive try. I certainly wouldn't recommend it with a Disruptor Jakiro support combo and a basically melee core as is TA, but we'll probably see, sorry, Tidehunter, I should say. But we will see the Alchemist pickup rounding out the draft here for M5. So very interesting pickup from them. He will be probably a core role. Actually, Tusk is going to be in the core here, presumably being picked up by Screen. So perhaps a Tusk mid with the off-lane Puck, safe lane Ember Spirit here. We will see how they itemize, and that will be indicative of where they choose to lane here, guys. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Marsh Bees, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and this is GG League Season 2. Just going to get a quick pause, as we always do. We're on the Luxembourg servers, but that should be pretty close for most of these people. most of these players, I should say. And looks like we're missing sound here for one of the players. And it is pretty sad, PGG. It is pretty sad. But we'll take a moment to introduce the teams. And we have everyone pretty much in their normal roles here for BBC Hockey. Going to take to the off lane on the Tidehunter in the 3. Weehaw taking to the mid on his signature TA. We've got Solitude playing up on the Jakiro. It actually looks like they may go dual off lane here with Levi on the 5 position disruptor. And interestingly enough, Padrino with that steel web set playing up on the Broodmother. Very, very interesting stuff here for the side of Moscow 5. We got Necroman playing in the mid on that Ember Spirit. ZXC going to play up on that safe lane Alchemist. PGG playing on the 4 position. Sky Wrath Mage. We got the off lane taken up by Bignum on the puck. And in the 5 we got Screen on this Tusk here. So a little bit of a role switch up here, I believe, for Moscow 5. International. Screen usually plays the mid and Necroman often in the 4, but they're pretty flexible. And I'm sure Screen is pretty comfortable on this the terror from the barrier Tuskar. So we will see what they're able to do with this pretty potent roaming combo. Smoke Dust already picked up by M5, so it looks like they're planning on ganking mid at some point. They're going to drop a high ground ward. Double damage rune is going to go towards PGG as Hockey picks up the bounty top. We will see rotations down towards the bottom lane where Bignum resides on his puck. And for now, we will see to check out this aggression from this roaming combo. Web already dropped here from Padrino, and Levi is backing him up. Hasn't put any skill points yet here. We do see Screen rotate in. As soon as he goes for a last hit, we may see this. Levi's going to scout this out, though, with a ping. And we do see one right-click harass from that double damage does actually quite a bit against Levi. We do see Padrino hiding towards the trees, knowing that there is dust, as Levi was able to scout this out. And it looks like we'll save this off for the moment. ZXC playing up in the solo safe lane for the time being. And Hockey going to have a good time harassing him out with this Anchor Smash, as well as the Liquid Fire from Solitude. So, interesting mid matchup here. You probably see a Max Flame Guard build from Necroman burn through those refraction charges. And it's a pretty common build these days with the Searing Chains maxed up as well. You could probably go for the late points in Sleight of Fist. So, should be a pretty even mid matchup here, as long as Necroman's able to avoid those side blades. And it does seem like we will have the aggressive try. TP's down from the bot lane from ZXC on the Alchemist, and actually Puck gonna go towards the safe lane. So interesting lane swap here from Moscow 5. Probably one that is definitely warranted, giving the Puck the ranged advantage in the top lane. He's also able to phase shift those liquid fires, and he'll have a much better time than ZXC does. Kinetic Field here, though, gonna latch on ZXC. His supports are a little bit out of position. He's channeling up an Unstable Concoction, however. 2 seconds left on that. That's gonna hit pretty hard on Levi. Is there an Arcane Bolt? No, but the Ice Shards are gonna hit, and the Arcane Bolt gonna finish him off. First blood going the way of Moscow 5, and they'll pick up 1-0 2 minutes into the game. So a nice little rotation down from ZXC. He'll use that first Unstable Concoction to find a kill here for M5, and it looks like Screen will just scout out to see that the rune was taken. Padrino is back in lane here, feeling pretty good, despite Screen having a pair of Dust of Appearances on him. And in the mid lane, we'll see the 10-0 of Necroman up against Weehaw's 9-3 on the TA right now. So pretty even matchup here. Bignum isn't able to evade that phase shift. Does have his orb, though, and there's really no lockdown aside from the ice path here. And looks like Solitude has opted for 1 point in the dual breath this early on. So Screen gonna run into Levi, or PGG I should say, gonna run into Levi here doing the pulls. Bignum gonna be just fine top lane. He can almost grab up his boots One more last hit. He's sitting at 4 and 5 to his laning equivalent. I guess he doesn't really have one at this point, being as they are running dual lanes for Moscow 5. And the Tide Hunter doing very well here for Hockey. Concussive shot coming from the backside with PGG. Is there a searing change? There is. Weehaw going to try and TPL. Will he be successful? He will not. And Necroman going to pick up that kill in the mid. Meantime, bottom lane, ZXC going to tick down to that Thunderclap. Screen's caught in the kinetic field as well. He's going to be able to use the snowball to dodge. And another web, though, dropped here from Padrino. He's going to chase this pretty deep. One more right click. And he'll pick up another kill here. Levi picking up the first one. PGG is here, however. Padrino gonna try and get out in the tree line. Actually, one Thunderclap here. Gonna tick down PGG again. And the Unstable Concoction does stun himself for ZXC here. Padrino trying to evacuate. And he will be successful in doing so. And that's a 3-for-1 across the map. 3-for-0 in the bot lane. Going the way of Moscow 5. Or, sorry, BBC. Excuse me. So, really good plays from them. And they do very well here to pick up a few kills. Dropping down PGG and ZXC. PGG TPing in a little overzealously there, as we had to see the Tusk back up there on screen. Necroman's going to bottle up this haste rune. That'll be pretty useful for him. And with the dust in the bot lane, he may want to go for this Broodmother here. Does he pop the haste? Not quite yet. He's actually going to disrupt this pull. Did Levi see him? I doubt it. And he actually wraps around this way. And he will find Levi pulling on the Disruptor. This should be an easy solo kill. He actually gets glimpsed back, but he does have the Remnant forward here. And will Necroman be able to find him? He doesn't even use the Remnant. Very efficient play from him. Just the haste rune. But Levi actually going to get denied to the neutral creep. So even better play from him. I guess Necroman a little too economical there. Not using that Fire Remnant to chase down the Disruptor. Bignum not doing bad in this lane anymore. 10 last hits to him. He's got a magic stick as well as his boots up here. PGG in the mid lane just going to harass out Weehaw a bit. Takes a Psionic Trap, and looks like Weehaw will be just fine. Going to pop the Refraction here. He's going to turn on this and was going to look to take PGG down, but with that Flame Guard up, he was a little worried. ZXC going to get caught in the kinetic field once again. Soul Ring used, and they're going to nuke him down. Just the two of them. So this lane working out really well here for Moscow 5. Dropping those Spiderlings. Level 3 already into ZXC does quite a bit of work. And the Alchemist having a pretty poor start here for the side of Moscow 5 International. Hockey going to have a really early mech if that's what he chooses to build. And it does seem like that's the route he's choosing to go here. Padrino going to get really aggressive, going deep here. But they don't have vision of him in the tree line. The Snowball going to connect, however. He is out of range of the tower, and Screen going to get dropped down here. Ancient Seal, Concussive shot, got to go out here early during the seal, and actually going to rotate in Necroman, and they will finish off Padrino with the Remnant explosions there. But Unstable Concoction didn't do quite enough damage there, and unfortunately for them, Padrino survives long enough to wreak havoc. ZXC going down again. 5-4 is your score 7 minutes in. And Bignum looking pretty good in the top lane. He's found 14 last hits, 600 gold to his name, but Hockey 600 gold with Arcanes already up. Screen going to take towards the mid lane to find a little bit of farm. He's got a Sentry, and there is a smoked up Necroman on this Ember Spirit. So they could look to take out the TA here. There is rotations in from PGG as well. Will he channel up the shards? He grabs the shards. Remnant forward. Concussive shot. Ancient Seal. And he actually drags Necro into the snowball. But no matter. Doesn't need to get off those Searing Chains. Seems like he may have whiffed on them and they hit creeps. I didn't see those latch there. But regardless, they pick up the kill on the TA. Very high priority target. 4th overall in the net worth right now. Necroman doing very well, 3,500, even above the safe lane Broodmother, who's had a couple kills here for Padrino. And ZXC back towards the bottom lane is still in danger here. Padrino moving pretty quickly. He's going to drop another web here. Few right clicks, one spawn Spiderlings. Do the Spiderlings have enough? Oh, Padrino, you just needed one more last hit there, buddy. But actually, his units are going to clean it up anyways. Very intelligent play from him, knowing his limits. No TP rotations. ZXC a little salty, pinging out where he died here, all the way in his own base. And no rotations from anyone. Regen rune bottled up here from the Ember Spirit. However, he can be glimpsed back, and he doesn't have... He has the one remnant. He will place it defensively, just in case there is ward vision here. He's going to ping out the position of Levi at the moment. And Necroman should be just fine. He's actually been overtaken now by Padrino, who's been able to build a Aquila and a Soul Ring here, and is pretty damn arrogant in this bottom lane, sitting here by himself totally fine. Levi is continuing to pull. He's building into that Urn of Shadows. He's going to go into lane here as he sees the Ember come down. Sentry was planted here, but this is actually a Radiant Sentry to ensure that Padrino does have his invisibility. And it looks like top lane they may be baiting out Bignum here. Hockey's got his Ravage at the ready, so they're going to have to solo him up. Coil goes out onto Hockey. He's going to hold this Ravage for now. Seal does not go out on him. He drops it. It's going to hit on 2. Going to be dodged by Bignum, though. Very nice play by him. They'll find 2 kills in the top lane. And meanwhile, in the bottom, no aggression going to be had here. On the Ember Spirit. Necroman pretty tanky with that Flame Guard up. Actually, Scream gonna TP out here. Levi's gonna be found by Necroman. He whiffs the Searing Chains in the fog of war, and he's actually gonna back up towards his tower here. So no kill found there for Necroman. His farm is okay though. Still sitting on second overall on the net worth. They do drop the Tidehunter here, which is huge, as he was on his way to his mech for Hockey. The tier 1 off lane is still decently healthy here for Moscow 5. They've had a lot of rotations with their lanes recently. Psionic Trap's going to go out onto PGG. One Meld Strike here is going to eat well into his health. Easy kill for Weehaw. PGG caught out of position. Score is 7-7, 10 minutes in. 1-2-0 is Weehaw on this TA. So not the best start, but a very much needed kill here. Glimpse back into the Static Storm from Necroman, though. Beautiful play here by Levi. TP rotations are going to be too late from Bignum, and he's going to eat a right click and a thunderclap in the face. Padrino doing extremely well on this Broodmother in the safe lane for BBC. And they've looked impressive here early on. Moscow 5 definitely keeping up. We take a look at the graphs, and that tower dropping in the bot lane for Padrino. Coil's going to go out, though, on Padrino. They do have a sentry down here. Illusion Orb going to hit, as well as the Waning Rift. Concussive Shot, one more Arcane Bolt. They'll right-click him down. Bignum finds a much-needed kill on a high-priority target. And a nice little coordination from him as well as PGG. The one thing for PGG, 2-2-5, he's been involved in 7 of his team's 8 kills and is almost level 8 on this Skywrath Mage. You take a look at the level chart. He's well up there with the offlane Tidehunter and even Levi's Disruptor. Levi's Disruptor doing a good job of finding pulls. And 2-man smoke here from Screen, who is level 6, does now have that the Walrus Punch at the ready. And he's walking around with Necroman here, and they should find kills. Ravage is down for 15 seconds, so if they're able to get in here early enough, this should be an easy kill for them. Sleight of Fist Searing Chains combo is going to whiff, but the Shards, Remnant forward. They do have the Walrus Punch to bring Hockey up in the air. Unstable Concoction going to keep him in place. They're going to find him as well, and they look for Solitude on the Jakiro, but will not find him. Nice positioning as well from the rest of Moscow 5. They're going to evacuate the lanes, but Bignum's going to get glimpsed back. He actually tries to phase shift the glimpse. He's a little too early. Static Storm is there. Ice Path, Dual Breath, and he's going to get finished off to one more Thunderclap tick. And I was just going to praise them for getting out of lane when 3 of their heroes went in top, because as expected, BBC going to retaliate on that. And actually, Bignum just gets caught on the edge of Glimpse range, that massive range. Glimpse back, however. Mystic Flare is dropped here from PGG. He's going to fall in the kinetic field. Solitude going to go down during that Ancient Seal duration here. And Necroman going to burn those Spiderlings away. He does hit a Sleight of Fist Searing Chains on Padrino, but has no mana to pursue, despite having 3 remnants here. Screen being chased down by these Spiderlings. He's going to drop again. And in the back lines, the Spiderling's going to chase him down. Necroman's going to need to level up this Sleight of Fist and try and find these. Bignum's going to clean a lot of them up with a Waning Rift Illusory Orb combo. And tower still standing tall. I did mention that I thought this went down. It was actually the mid lane tower going down here for BBC, guys. Padrino, we got to look in the way of item progression for him. It doesn't seem like anything's come out yet, but we may see an engagement bottom Probably will see something come out pretty soon. He has 2,000 gold on this Broodmother, so it'll be interesting to see what he actually builds into. Obviously don't have the privilege of having too much experience casting pro Broodmothers. Perhaps just a Drum of Endurance for him for now. He does have the added move speed of the web though, so maybe not completely necessary. Has opted, for the treads over the phase boots at this point, so we will see what he chooses to build into here. Levi does have arcane boots as well as his urn up already. Weehaw with drums, treads, magic wand, bottle, 1,200 gold, and the combo of solitude and Hockey able to finally take this top tower. And with that, Hockey picks up his blink dagger. This is a huge pickup with Ravage at the ready from the side shop. PGG gonna get pinged out here. They actually don't have vision of him. Perhaps just pinging out the rune, and he'll grab an illusion rune. 3-man smoke rotation from Moscow 5. Will they be able to find Padrino? He's postured up pretty defensively in the trees here. Levi has been scouted out. No, the smoke has been popped. Dust is popped as well. They'll find Levi with a Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. He's gonna drop the Static Storm, but it's only on screen. Mass TP rotations. Looks like it'll be a 1-for-1 in this bot lane as screen does go down. And he will go down eventually. He used the snowball for the moment being, but Padrino sitting on him here. Bignum gonna rotate out with PGG towards the river here, and it looks like that'll stave off the aggression. But this tower is gonna go down here. Sleight of Fist though, a little bit aggressive from Necroman, but he's able to Remnant away before the Ice Path latches. Nice play by Solitude. A little better reaction though by Necroman, and they will lose a tower here. There is still a Blink Ravage at the ready for Hockey here, and they may want to continue to fight. They're looking toward this high ground here. They drop an Observer, no sentry quite yet, and it looks like the Yasha coming out here for Weehaw. Nice little pickup for him. Bignum pretty aggressive, pushing out the lane here. He's one of the more elusive heroes and should be okay to survive up against this combo, but the blink has not yet been revealed unless they've clicked on Hockey, so they need to be careful for the side of Moscow 5 here. Smoke rotation from Necroman and Screen. They're gonna have their smoke popped here. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains gonna hit onto Mystic Flare down. Nice Wallace punch on Hockey. He's gonna stop cast the Ravage. Weehaw trying to get away. There is a Remnant left here for Necroman. He's gonna Remnant up to the high ground. Weehaw's gonna try and juke upwards towards his teammates. Static Storm's gonna whiff on everyone here. Necroman's gonna get glimpsed back out of it. Coil on 2. Levi gonna go down to the Waning Rift. Weehaw's caught in no man's land, but a Meld Strike and 2 more right clicks into Necroman. He's gonna drop. Screen's gonna have to dodge the Macro Pyre with the Snowball, but he'll eventually go down as well. And triple kill going the way of Padrino. 3 for 2 in the bot lane. 1 core, 2 supports go down for a core and a support. Win for Moscow 5. They keep the BBC, I should say. They keep the Ravage as well. All the meantime, ZXC trying to recover in farm. He's sitting at pretty much just